I really work on and have worked on is trying to get young people involved in our industry. We don't, in my opinion, have enough young people involved in our industry, and our industry is a great industry to be in. It's an industry that's full of just awesome people. What we do is manufacture and involved in manufacturing of all the things that we consume, everything. Bringing a young person in is very important. How you want to get involved, um, get out there and start applying. Go to people. I mean, the industry is hungry for people to join it.
Welcome to the Empowering Industry Podcast, a production from Empowering Pumps and Equipment as the voice of the pump and related equipment industries. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Empowering Industry Podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Matthews, and I have had such a fun time today and many days of interviewing people. We've had I'm going to have to go back and look, but hundreds of interviews on the Empowering Industry podcast. We also are looking forward to kind of building out what EPIC will be, the Empowering Pumps and Industry Conference. That's going to be back at San Jacinto College, which y'all know how, if you've been listening, you know how inspiring that place is. It's just, that field, I guess looking at industry and how you can get excited about the industry that we work in, it's just like a playground for that. So I'm really excited about that. But I know y'all are excited about finding out who our guest is. So will you jump on here and introduce yourself?
Hi, Charlie and everyone. My name's Bruce Fox. I'm with Worldwide Electric Corporation, outside sales, district sales manager. Been with the company for a long time now. I'm in my 18th year with Worldwide. Have done a lot of traveling for the company. Held a few different positions, but all of them have been primarily in outside sales, developing a network of distributors, OEMs, and packagers, and developing those and bringing them on board and making them long-lasting customers for Worldwide Electric.
I love that. But how does one get into our industry? What kind of brought you into it?
I got to tell you, Charlie, I one of the things I really work on and have worked on is trying to get young people involved in our industry. We don't, in my opinion, have enough young people involved in our industry, and our industry is a great industry to be in. It's an industry that's full of just awesome people, and you learn just what it takes in order to be able. What we do is manufacture and involved in manufacturing of all the things that we consume, everything. Bringing a young person in is very important. How you want to get involved, um, get out there and start applying. Go to people. I mean, the industry is hungry for people to join it, to become a part of it, and to be in it. And it's a great industry, like I said.
Isn't that
It's
what happened to you too? So wasn't it like a friend that brought you into the industry,
It
just
was.
told you about it?
Yep. Yep. It was a friend who was in the industry, introduced me into the industry. I was in sales back a long time ago. I've been in sales pretty much all of my life. And, it's been a really, really changing industry from when I first started to where it is now. I've actually been in the business nearly 40, well, probably, well, almost 40 years. So, yeah, it was a friend who was involved, and I got to know the industry. And I told him one day that, hey, I think you guys have some account, or there's some accounts out there that I know of that you guys don't have. And they asked me if I thought I could get them. And Charlie, the rest is history.
Well, I was going to say that confidence in that sales, you knew you could. That's why you brought it up. It's kind of reminds me of like you're selling yourself, right? So I remember, when I got the job into the industry, it was like, hey, I'm already talking to these clients for you. So I'm the best pick to be, the next advertising salesperson or whatever. And it's like, well, you
Sure.
sold me. You can sell anything, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. It never hurts to know the product, Charlie. So if you do get into the industry, learn, pick up a catalog, go on a website. Um, if you go out into outside sales, and I find this to be true, especially in our industry, um, ask for a plant tour.
Oh,
Older
I love a
guys
plant tour.
older guys are they want to share what they do with younger people. They're proud of what they do. And then go out there, get a plant tour, learn what that customer does, and then, if you're in the distribution side of it, of course, I'm in the manufacturing side now. So, I get opportunities to ride with outside salespeople and do joint sales calls. And one of the unique things about me, and I came from a distribution side before I got into the manufacturing side. So, I can walk into a rock quarry because I did that for many years, and identify areas where my company or we or my distributor can help that end user, can help keep their plant running. And that's what we do.
I love that so much. And I mean, it's just making me crave a plant tour for one. But, having that knowledge and the relationships that you've built in your 40-year career,
Mhm.
it's invaluable. Now, I want to know, when did you know, like, I'm good at this? Like, is there like a point in history where you kind of look back now and you're like, I knew I was good at building relationships here, right?
Yeah, there was. And it was actually a long time ago before I was working for Worldwide, before I was actually in this industry. Um, Lord Charlie, I don't know how I got started, but I was selling radio airtime. And let me tell you something. If you can sell an intangible, you can sell anything.
You're speaking
So,
my language here, Bruce. I understand this very well. It's like a theory. Does it
yeah,
work? Kind of thing.
right.
Thankfully, today we have digital tools that makes it a little bit more
Sure
measurable.
do.
But
Yeah,
you're right. It's about building relationships.
it is. You build relationships, you go in, and now I have lifelong friends. Not only are they customers of mine, but they become very good friends of mine. Um, I know about their family life. I know they talk to me about their wife and their children and what their hobbies are. I mean, you can walk into an office, and if a guy's got golf balls on the wall, he's probably a golfer, Charlie. You know, if
Yeah,
he's
and if he's not, somebody, there's a story around those golf balls too,
got
right?
That's exactly right. And so it's, saying, hey, I see you got some golf balls. Are you a golfer? And then you take off with that conversation, getting to know their hobbies. If there's a fish on the wall or a deer head on the wall, he's probably an outdoorsman. So you start with that conversation, and then you build a relationship from there. You get to know the people. You literally get to know their wife, their kids, even though you may not meet them in person necessarily all the time. You feel like you know them because they communicate that to you, and what their hobbies are, where they like to vacation, all that. It's all part of the relationship building. We're very, very much still, in my opinion, of course, once again, I've been doing this a long time. We're still very much in a relationship business. Charlie, people do business with people.
They know, like, and trust.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah. So it's good. Yeah. You build that relationship, you'll have lifelong friends.
Yeah, and I've been talking about this. This came up for us of working with people, and why are they buying from you, that kind of thing. And I believe all of us are buying from what, even online. What do we like it, right? Do we know the brand? Do we like it? Do we trust it? If something broke in that trust, then maybe you're like, I'm not going to buy from them. But it's even more so in when it's person to person, and you
It
you're
is.
in person. And so valuing those relationships, sometimes personalities are different. How do
They are.
you get through that, Bruce?
You know, it's pretty amazing what you develop when you're in sales for so long. And women especially have it. Uh, they have a heightened nonverbal sensitivity. You read people, Charlie.
Mhm.
You read people. You can walk into a room, if you've been doing this a long time, and you immediately can identify who your adversaries and who your advocates are. So develop a sense of how you read people, and and then from there, I mean, because you never know who you're going to be walking into and talking to. You may walk into an office or out into a plant with a guy who's got grease all over him, a hard hat on, steel toes on, and he's the engineer and he's the one who makes the company run, you know, or walk into an office, where a guy's a purchasing agent, who's totally different from the engineering side of the business. So you got to read people, Charlie. You got to know who you're dealing with.
Yes, I
And
used to say that all the time. I read people for a living. That's and I can't you can't turn it off. I think part of it
no,
is the strength, right? That
it
is
is.
observing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not judging. It's not judging a person, but it is reading the situation, adapting
Mm-hmm.
how we show up in that environment, right? And so I think that I see value in every type of personality, even the ones that
Of
are the
course.
hardest to work with.
They are.
But
So, I
you
mean,
do have to
you
learn,
have
right?
the spectrum, you have the whole spectrum. You have some guys who are hard charging, and you can walk in and be a hard charging salesperson, and when I say hard charging, I mean really open up a conversation, laugh, and then there's those who aren't. They're more quiet and more reserved, and you have to adjust yourself and your personality to the personality of the person that you're meeting with.
Yeah, otherwise they're not going to hear you, and they're just going to be almost overwhelmed. So
Then
I
they
think both
shut
is
you
true.
down.
I
Yeah,
watched this actually on a leadership call, Bruce. I do this to people. I kind of show up and I'm all like high energy in your face. And I
yeah.
was having this very kind of just normal conversation. Some engineers were talking. It's kind of more, quieter
Hmm.
tones and stuff. And then my counterpart in leadership, she came in and she was that bold one. I was like, oh, that's what I do to people. I could
Yeah,
see it.
yeah. You can
And,
see it. Hmm.
there's a strength in that, and that's who I am. But there's also, I can have a serious conversation at a low tone too. And so it's just trying to make sure that you're showing up in alignment with what you're trying to accomplish for sure.
And there's a time to speak, and there's a time to listen, you know. So you have to be very, sometimes you're way better off just listening. And by listening, you can then sometimes find pain points. We look for pain points, something that a person's having trouble with let's say, at a plant level, or being able to source or get their hands on. You find that pain point, and then you know what you do, Charlie? You solve it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about Worldwide Electric. I feel like we owe them that. They gave us this time together, right?
Yeah.
Um, I've kind of watched y'all growing and kind of more exposure, kind of out there more. What is exciting for you and kind of what's coming up for Worldwide?
Well, it is. I mean, if you've known the company and researched the history of the company or anything like that, the company basically started from a $0 ground up company some 25 odd years ago, 26 years ago, something like that. And I watched it. I tell you, Charlie, it's been quite a ride. We have grown and grown, and we continue to grow. We continue to expand the breadth of our products. Um, uh, we're adding people. We're adding territories. Um, Watching the company grow, and this year we're going to be introducing a lot more new products into the marketplace too, as well, which once again expands the breadth of our product lines. And by doing that, we become more value added to the customer. We have a great company, and I've often told people, there's a lot of great companies out there, without question. But one of the reasons I'm at Worldwide Electric and have been for so long is because of our level of customer service. We offer customer service that's unsurpassed in the industry without question. When you call our company, you get a person. That's that's pretty cool.
And that as a salesperson, that's what makes us want to stay. It makes our job easy. We know they're going to be taken care of because that's our
Right.
job to take care of the customer. And so I
That's
can relate to that.
yeah.
Well, Bruce, I can't let you go. I got to ask you some rapid fire questions. I already noticed kind of you mentoring and looking kind of for that next generation of people coming in. So
Mhm.
we'll talk to that. But um, anything else that you want to leave our audience with before we kind of go into that rapid fire?
In terms of worldwide electric or just the
Just
industry
in
in general?
general.
It's a great industry, Charlie. I invite people to look into our industry and become a part of it because it will provide you with a wonderful career without question.
Absolutely. And we're dealing with the things that are vital to life. So all of this equipment we're talking
That's right.
about, you mentioned it earlier, like that we consume it. Like we have to have these things. We have to have water, power, energy, all the things. And
Mhm.
so
They
shifting gears just a minute to
sure.
ask you a little bit more personal, I do that.
Mhm.
What is your favorite book?
It's a Western.
Okay.
It was written by a gentleman named Larry McMurtry. It's called Lonesome Dove.
Love it. Love it. Seen it as a movie. I don't think I've read the book.
You should
But
read the book.
what about favorite music? Also kind of country?
I love country a lot, but I also love old rock and roll.
Okay.
And
Good,
you,
good. I'm an old soul myself. What
mhm.
about uh what's the best advice that you've ever received?
Never, and especially in my industry, okay, if somebody asks you a question and you don't know it, do not be afraid to say, I don't know, but I will get you an answer. And if you tell them that, you get them the answer.
That's good advice right there. What about we were talking earlier about recruiting. What is some advice that you would give somebody coming into our industry? Which you did just do that, but is there anything else kind of that younger generation that coming in?
Get in the business and get in the industry and learn the industry, learn your products. We can all, if you're a salesman, like you alluded to earlier, Charlie, you can pretty much sell anything, but you become a way more professional salesperson if you know the products that you're selling and you become more value added to your customer.
Absolutely. And I know, there's no way that you can take care of all these customers without traveling. But you also have a family and some other amazing things that, keeps
I
driving you.
do.
But my question, I guess, is what do you do for fun?
I fish, I hunt, I love the outdoors. Yeah, yeah,
Awesome,
that's
awesome. Well, as someone who's been to all the states, except yes, I did. I was like, except no, Minnesota. I haven't been to Minnesota yet,
really
and so I
that's
have
the
to do
land of
that.
10,000 lakes.
Yes, and so that's on my list, which is kind of crazy that I've never been there. Because one of my favorite clients is from there, but
Mhm.
I love the outdoors. It's beautiful and it
It
gives
is.
you something to like talk to people about that just you just got to see it, right? Like I
Right.
told you about this and you just got to see it. And then when you can come back together and talk about it, it's just beautiful, right?
Pretty incredible. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, Bruce, thank you for your time and,
of
and
course.
inspiration. I felt like I was, remembering what it's like to be a salesperson, which I love. And,
Yeah,
I think that there's a lot of success. And as an entrepreneur, hearing that success story of growth there is really rewarding. And we also know here how there's a lot of people using and wearing a lot of hats, but taking care of the customer is priority. So, Bruce, thank
that's
you for
it.
your time.
Uh, I certainly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
For everybody else, share this episode. It's going to help somebody. And until next time, be empowering.